Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to demystify something that, let's be honest, can sound a little intimidating: accounting. But I promise you, by the end of this, you'll see it's not just about crunching numbers, it's about telling a story. All right, let's get into it. So, when I say the word accounting, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's this image of someone just endlessly writing down numbers in some old ledger. But is that really all it is? That's a super common idea, but it's not even close to the whole picture. The reality is actually way more interesting. A better way to think about accounting is like this: it's the language of business. Seriously, it's the tool that lets a company truly understand what's going on inside, make smart moves, and ultimately not just survive, but actually grow and succeed. So, how does it do all that? Well, it all happens through this really clear four-step journey. We go from raw data all the way to a final decision. It's a process that turns everyday transactions into some seriously powerful insights. And it all kicks off with step one: recording. Okay, let's start at the beginning with step one: recording. You can think of this as the absolute bedrock of the whole system. If you don't get this part right, well, everything else gets a little shaky. So what do we mean by recording? It's basically what it sounds like. We're creating a log of every single financial thing that happens, in the order that it happens. But the key phrase here is systematic manner. This isn't just scribbling notes on a napkin. It's about creating a perfect, permanent memory for the business so nothing gets lost. Let's use a really simple example that we can follow all the way through. So imagine your business pays its rent for the month with cash. That action, paying the rent, has to be recorded right away in a special book that accountants call the journal. And that's it. Step one, done. All right, so now we have this long-running list of all our transactions. What's next? Well, a long list isn't super helpful on its own. We need to bring some order to the chaos, and that's exactly what step two, classifying, is all about. Classifying is basically the sorting phase. Think of it like sorting your email into different folders. We take all those individual entries from the journal and we start grouping the ones that are alike. This is where we go from just a big list to organized categories, which is the first step to seeing any real patterns. So remember that single rent payment we recorded? It's not just floating around on its own anymore. Now it gets grouped together with the rent payment from last month and the month before that, all in a special bucket called the rent account. So now we're not just looking at one payment. We can see the whole picture of what we're spending on rent over time. We've recorded the facts, we've sorted them into neat piles. Now it's time for the big reveal. Step three, summarizing, is where the story of the business really starts to take shape and become clear. What summarizing does is take all that beautifully organized data from our different accounts and kind of boils it down into just a few key reports. The whole point is to present all this complex information in a way that's actually useful and easy to understand, even at a quick glance. And these are the reports that tell the story. You've probably heard of some of these before, right? Like the profit and loss account or the balance sheet. Each one of these is like a different chapter, giving you a unique snapshot of how the company is doing and where it stands financially. And that brings us to the final, and I'd argue the most important step of this entire journey. This is the whole point of doing everything we've talked about so far. This is the payoff. Exactly. You might be thinking, okay, we've done all this recording and classifying and summarizing. We have these slick-looking reports, but so what? Why did we go through all that trouble? The answer is right here: interpretation. This is where we actually analyze those reports to figure out what they mean. We turn the numbers into insights that help the people in charge make really smart, strategic decisions about the future. By looking at that rent account summary, a manager can ask, hey, is our rent starting to creep up too high compared to our sales? By looking at that profit and loss statement, they can answer the million-dollar question: are we actually profitable? This is the moment that raw data finally becomes wisdom. So the next time you think of accounting, I hope you don't just see someone typing numbers into a spreadsheet. Remember this whole journey from data to decision. The real takeaway here is that accounting isn't just a boring record of where a business has been, it's the map that shows where it can go next. The real question is, what future will your numbers help you decide?